Welcome back to Dirty Garage Mods. I am the host of this channel. I'm Daniel. And first things first, I want to say Happy Father's Day to everybody out there. This is actually the day after, but Happy Father's Day. And also I wanted to say thank you for the positive feedback I've been getting from you guys. I do greatly appreciate it. And G6 videos coming very soon. Be a few weeks. I gotta get some money built up first. Right now, today I'm going to be working on a 2009 Pontiac G3, which is also the same as the 2009 Chevy Aveo. And what I'm going to be doing is changing the lower control arms on it. So I'm going to try to take you through the steps. I'm going to try to make this video a lot shorter than what I've done other videos. So just bear with me, and I'll be right back. Providing it don't rain, I'll get to record this. So, anyhow. So here we are. I got the wheel off and everything, as you can see. First thing you want to do is get the brake caliper off and out of the way. And you don't have to take it completely off. You got to take it off here, but you don't got to disconnect the line or any of that. What you do is, this is a 14 millimeter. Beat on it a little bit, pop that loose. This should be a really easy job. I hope it goes quick. So 14 millimeter, pops these bolts loose here. Take these. If you don't remember what these parts are, where they go, you always take cardboard, stick them down through cardboard, and mark them what they are. But I do this enough, I know where they go. So, and you just want to get in there with a pry bar. Should not have come off that easy. Get in there with your pry bar, release the piston, and what you want to do is take an old metal hanger. I use this one all the time for different things, mainly for hanging brake calipers out of the way. Use your strut spring. Take this. And run it through. Run it right through that bolt hole would be better. That gets it more or less out of the way. Okay, and then what you want to do next is get the right size socket on the brake caliper bracket. I'm going to be changing the brake pads too, but I'm not going to really show that part because it's just easy stuff. Huh. That thing fit in there. Weird. And I gotta go get the right size socket, so I'll be back. So the mounting bracket is going to be a 19 millimeter socket, and I'll try to remember to put this in the caption too, and I figure as much. So it's going to be a little bit tight. Take you a little breaker bar if you got one, put it on there, or a cheater bar. That's super tight. 19 millimeter for both of them. I'm gonna go ahead and cut off, and I'll come back here in just a few after I get this off. It's gonna still original factory, hasn't been ever taken off, so I get to have the fun part of breaking the threads. So I'll be is the rotor. Now from the factory they use these screws to hold the rotors on when they come down the line. Hopefully I can turn it. If I can't, it's a Phillips screwdriver, but sometimes using a Phillips doesn't work that well. There we go. You don't have to put these back in. The aftermarket rotors don't even have these holes in them. Like I said, this is just the factory rotor. Surprising on a vehicle this old. And see, you run into that problem there where they're super tight. And my flathead isn't going to fit in there, so I'm going to have to go with a narrower flathead. So I'll be back again. So this is what I did. I started out with smaller drill bits, worked my way up on this head, and before you know it, usually the head pops off, but I got lucky and the bit actually took the screw right off after it got loosened up. So anyways, now we're going to go to the next step. Center axle nut out. You're going to want to use a 32 millimeter deep well impact socket and your air compressor to get this loose. If you don't have this, you can use a half-inch ratchet or half-inch breaker bar and loosen it up. This just makes it go quicker, so hang tight and I'll show you that. That right there, that comes off. There's a little washer in here. You'll have to get a magnet, antenna magnet, pull that out. So I'm gonna get that and I'll be right back. My bigger one don't fit in there, and I got a smaller one to kind of help bring it on out. So there you go. Washer came out. I'll stick that with the nut. So all my bolts and stuff are sitting here next to my jack. And then next, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking the strut bolts out, and the strut bolts are 17 millimeter. So I got my 17 millimeter socket right here, and I'm going to use the impact. Probably really don't need the impact on it, but I'm going to use it to make it go quicker. So you can't possibly go wrong with PB Blast. PB Blast does a great job, and it's able to help me get this bolt loosened up, and just took a little bit of hammering to get it out, but it's definitely out. I'm going to leave a link down in the description, Amazon link, to where you can get a really good deal on this stuff. I'll probably put it by the can and also by the case, and I think they also make like a gallon tin can version of it. I'll have to look and see. If they do, I'll put it down in the description as well. You can use those links to order this stuff. I'm not earning anything off of it. It's just trying to promote Blaster, because PB Blaster is really good stuff. So yeah. So anyways, next part is going to be we're going to be taking the axle out, And what I do is I put the nut back on there just a little bit, and you want to thread it on there to where this sets flush with the axle, because you're going to have to hammer on it and it's going to get messed up otherwise. So I like to do that right there. Just put it on there just a little bit more. You don't want to mess up your threads or anything. That's why you put the nut on there. And then you take your sledge, get at a good angle. See, it already started going loose. Okay, you back it out. I like to use the side of the sledge sometimes, because that gives it good even hits. You just keep turning it out there until it's pretty loose in there already, and I can probably pull it out by hand, but I'm going to go ahead and keep going this way. Oh yeah, there'll be a little bit more force. See, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to cut all this off, because I'm boogering it up pretty good now because I'm having to hit it harder. The axle's still in there pretty good, so. But that ain't a problem with these axle nuts. The aftermarket ones don't have that cup on it, so. Yeah, so I'll have to take that and put it on the grinder, and I got a thing in there to cut them with too, so I'll fix that here in a little bit. So once the axle is in that far, you can take a ball peen hammer, just hit the axle, pull your axle out of the way, and there you are. You're on to the next step, which you guys won't be able to see the next step really, but I'll still talk about it. But it's going to be removing the ball joint. I'm not removing the tie rod. I'm just going to swivel the hub out of the way and possibly strap it up over here on the jack. Just get it out of the way, and that way I don't got to mess with it too much, because once you undo the ball joint, you can really booger up a ball joint. So I'll cut back in here in just a few minutes. Alright, so anyhow, we're back. Ball joint nut is going to be a 19 millimeter. I'm going to use the impact socket and the impact extension, or this is just regular extension. Keep in mind your extensions can actually weaken the pressure in between the impact and the socket, but in this case I think I'll be alright. So hang tight and we'll go ahead and get that done. Alright, I'll be right now. The fun part. It's all fun. You want to get your pickle fork in there, and or ball joint fork, whatever you call it. My dad's always called it a pickle fork. Get that in there like so.
really good, but it's not wanting to pop. Oh, it don't want to pop. Sometimes it helps to do that, but if that don't work. Oh, that sucker's in there good.
Alright, spray some PB on it, see if that'll help remove the rust that build up on it. Let that set for a few minutes. And I'll cut back in here in just a little bit. Hopefully I get it off. This car's been a struggle so far. I'm close. After this, tie this off, get it out of the way, and then loosen up the control arm bolts. Hopefully those come out pretty quick. They'll be with an impact, so it shouldn't be too bad. And then we start putting in new ones. So, yeah. Alright, so we're back. As you can see, I got the hub out. I actually had to cut the ball joint off. I could not get it to pop loose no matter what. I tried everything. So I just cut it off flush. I used a angle grinder and a cutting blade on it. So now the next part is going to be, you got a bolt in here that goes up and down. It's a 17 millimeter, and then there's a bolt that goes sideways in here. It's a 17 millimeter. So hopefully all that will come loose pretty easy. So I'll cut back in here in just a minute. I gotta move some stuff around. This is probably going to get a little bit loud because I'm going to have to use the air compressor to break these free. So if you can't hear me, I do apologize. But anyhow, so I'm going to take my 17 millimeter, not my 19, and hook up my impact. Hopefully this will break them because this stuff is usually pretty tight. And so what you want to do is lay down on the ground in about the most uncomfortable position possible. I ended up taking my half-inch ratchet and my cheater bar and putting on there, kind of loosen it up a little bit. And then now I'm going to go ahead and do the other side over here. I think it should get a little bit easier, but hard to say. GM vehicles, I don't know. Take your 17, put it on there. And I use these offset bone wrenches for this. You heard that crunch there, that's a good sign. Only thing about these control arms, and I've done this on my G6 video too. I'll leave a link or the video at the end of this so you guys can see that if you like. Alright, so that should get loose enough to where I can just put the impact on there and take it off the rest of the way. So oh yeah. comes with the wrench. That makes it nice. So you pull that out. Usually they're harder to pull out than that. That bushing was bad anyhow. That control arm was bad. Whole control arm was bad. So yeah, bushing is definitely bad. It had too much. Actually got a break in it. So anyways, I'll cut back in here in just a few when I'm getting ready to put the new control arm in. Everything's pretty much just backwards. So if you want to skip ahead, you're more than welcome to. So see you in a few. Alright, so here we are back again. You look at the bushing there, you can see where, I don't know if you can see that in the video or not, but it's all rubber sealed. The old one is all open. That's the difference between these. And these I purchased through Detroit Axle. I'll leave an Amazon link for that as well in the description. So if you guys want to check that out, you're more than welcome to. But yeah, Detroit Axle, it's a good product. I highly endorse them. I'm not getting paid to say that, but I do highly endorse them. They're just all-around good product to buy, and good company and great customer service and all that. So, but anyhow, yeah. So we'll go ahead and start putting this in. They get lined up. Mold up in there like so. Go ahead and get your nut on there. Just a few threads. You don't want to tighten anything down yet until you get the other bolt started in. So what was going on with it? There we go. Alright, so I'm going to cut back in after I get these snugged up. It's 17mm on both of them, and 17mm wrench for the nut. So I'll cut back in here in just a few minutes. Alright, I got both the bolts in there. The tie rod I'm not going to worry about putting on right now. I'll worry about that after I get everything else together here. You want to, there'll be a brand new nut on this ball joint. You want to take that off. Take that dust shield off. It's all it's there for is a dust shield or a protective cover for when it's been shipped. That's all it's there for. No need to have it after this. So what you want to do is take your, also like I said, it comes with a new nut. So you want to take your hub and put it on there. Also, these don't have grease inserts. Sometimes they send you some with grease inserts, other times they don't. The ones that they don't have grease in them already, so you don't have to worry about packing them with grease. So, not a big deal. And so, you want to take your nut, put it on there. These are locking nuts, so you don't have to worry about any extra crap. Alright. Take your 19mm socket, put it on there like so. You want to take your short 1/2-inch extension, if you can find it. There we go, there's my short 1/2-inch extension. I always do all this first, put it all on there first, and then
Alright, then you just take your 1/2-inch impact, snug it all down.
Again now, I'm going to put the axle in. What I like to do is I'll either use spray silicone and spray the spindles down here to help it slide in better, or you can take some disc brake grease or wheel bearing grease and just put a little bit on there. You don't got to go real crazy about it, but just enough to, it just kind of helps it slide into place better. So, and I can leave you a link for this stuff here. This is some pretty good stuff, or stuff that is similar to it, down in the description below. So usually get a little bit cheaper on Amazon than what you pay at your local auto parts store. So just slide that in there like so. Slid in there. You want to take your washer, put it back on there. Definitely got to have that on there. And you want to take your nut, whatever I did with it. Oh, that's right, I got to fix it. So I got a little off on it. I ended up cutting off a little bit much, but it's fine. It ain't going to hurt nothing. So just thread that back on there like so. Take your 32mm socket. You can hand thread that sucker on there pretty much all the way. And take your impact, put it on there. Next part we'll be doing is the bolts for the strut. Put those back on. So hang tight and I'll be back after the compressor dies off. Here we are. I've learned a little trick or two in my day. Taking a small bottle jack and jacking up the control arm, and that makes it easier lining the bolts up in there. So I like to try to do that if possible. And then you can just drive these in. Take your hammer, take a ball peen hammer. It's my recommended ball hammer. I like this one. Put that in there like so. And you go ahead and get your top one in there. Alright, and then it's a 17mm socket or wrench or whatever you're using to put those back on. My dad replaced these struts. This is my parents' car, and I don't know. I think he boogered up some of the threading on the nut, so that will happen. I don't have any extras right now, so just gonna have to deal with it. Yeah, you take your 17, whatever I did with it. There it is. 17. Air compressor again. Make some more noise. Alright, so I'll be back here in just a minute. I'm going to have to redo this bolt, I guess. So, here we are again. I'm going to be attaching the tie rod back. And then do the rest of this job. I like to take a hammer and kind of tap it from the bottom. Kind of helps it seat up. And you take your nut, carefully start it on there. You don't want to cross your threads. Take your half-inch ratchet. I got my impact. I'm going to use it here in a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and try to snug it up like this just a little bit. Might be able to snug it all the way up. Pretty good. Go ahead and take the impact on there. Alright, so that is going to be it for this video. I gotta finish putting it together. I just gotta put the brakes on it and put the wheel back on and be good to go on this side. But if you like this type of content, smash that thumbs up. Positive feedback always down in the comment section. Share this with your friends or anybody that might have a Chevy Aveo, Pontiac G3. All these little hatchback GM cars like this are pretty much the same. There might be a little bit of difference in them, but this particular part will fit the Chevy Aveo, or whatever you want to call it, EVO. There's people call it different things. But anyhow, yeah. Oh, and subscribe. That's important. If you there's also I'll provide a link in the description or an icon somewhere here on the screen. Chris Fix, another good channel to check out. He does a lot of the same type of stuff, so I really like his channel. He does really cool how-to channel. So but anyways, yep, catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your day.